Welcome to this February 22nd, 2026 YouTube live stream. I'm your host, Justin Mack with McDermott Media. You're at Freedom News now, coming to you from the war room, straight from the underground. We're talking breaking news. ICE officers, Michigan, First Amendment, plus Supreme Court, SCOTUS live. Welcome. All you just joining us, stopping over from the First Amendment Protection Agency. See, he was just live giving an update. Appreciate you over here talking First Amendment. We'll be going into more First Amendment audits soon. Back out on the front lines. Got some things in the works. Stay tuned for updates on that. We may talk some about the Epstein files. And maybe go over some about the fake genius Albert Einstein. Allegedly stole all his ideas and they try to rub it all into everyone's face. Got this completely insane, deranged person, Albert Einstein, and try to sell it to all the rest of us that he's some kind of genius with this wild, crazy haired. Not falling for it, not believing it. So yeah, the Albert Einstein, and then we got Jeffrey Epstein. Standing, welcome, greetings. Greetings. Yeah, ICE officers in Michigan live. So it'll start to ramp up here in Michigan. As of right now, ICE surrendered in Minneapolis, and they don't dare go into Dearborn and try and touch Dearborn, Michigan. ICE won't stand a chance. DHS, they don't stand a chance with that huge sleeper cell in Dearborn, Michigan, Hamtramck, Michigan. Basically, the largest city in all of Michigan is one giant sleeper cell of foreigners. It's not good for all of us American citizens, all of us Christians. We got to be on alert. You got to stay ready, stay practiced up, stay on mark, stay on target. You know, it's here. It's already here. Michigan's, I've been saying it, blowing the whistle on it for years now. Michigan's been fully invaded, a full-on takeover. Where's ICE at in Michigan? Where's the ICE officers in Michigan? Looks like another big fail. You're not getting mass deportations. All you MAGA supporters out there, y'all voted for mass deportations. You're not getting it. What happened? I told you weren't getting it. I told you it would never happen. Michigan's largest cities in the state are giant sleeper cells for foreign invaders. They're protected by these radical judges like Allison Batestein. She needs to cover up that face. She needs to cover that face up. It's Sharia law. It's the new rule of law in America. Sharia law. That's Michigan. It's here already. We've got these radical activist judges like Allison Batestein aiding and abetting, harboring and concealing the illegals. right in Michigan. Let's OTVO. Welcome. Appreciate you. Got to get these female judges, remove these female judges from behind the bench. Time to restore rule of law in America. Look at SCOTUS. That moves us on to the Supreme Court. Look what happened with the Trump's tariffs. I'm not going to be have a complete panic attack like many people on social media. There's other ways. There's more ways than one to skin a cat. Trump will be able to work around these traitors, these DEI hire activist judges on the Supreme Court, these female judges, Chinese judges, black judges. Although Clarence Thomas, he seemed to do all right, but the Supreme Court, they don't follow rule of law. It's ridiculous. These DEI hire DEI hand-picked DEI Supreme Court justices. Yeah, it says America's finished is what it says. Nobody elected these judges. They were all handpicked. It's just like the D12, Jackson, Michigan D12 judges like Allison Batestein. Somehow she got put in there in the 2020 fully rigged selection. She got padded with thousands of votes. She got beat by thousands of votes by the other guy that she ran against. But somehow this California judge in 2020 gets put on a bench. She wasn't even a judge, this California former prosecutor that got fired. Somehow she got all this California funding, a California lawyer all the way in Michigan becomes a judge in the 2020 fully rigged election. It wasn't just the Trump numbers, it was all the way down. 2024 was the same way, 2018, 2022. Michigan's been fully rigged all their elections. Don't fall for them. They're a complete scam. Those of you that do participate, come midterms, Michigan's midterms are in August. Come midterms, we're fully withholding all our votes. If you don't get mass deportations, no mass deportations, fully withhold your vote. Let it crash and burn. Let the GOP crash and burn. Michigan's already fully invaded and it's not getting any better. ICE failed in Michigan. ICE officers in Michigan, complete fail. ICE officers in Ohio, complete fail. Look at it's just like Minneapolis. The ICE officers, they're ending American citizens. They're not arresting any illegals. Minneapolis has been conquered by foreign nationals. ICE completely surrendered. ICE completely surrendered in Minneapolis, same as Michigan. You think ICE will dare go in Dearborn or Hamtramck and try what they're doing in Minneapolis? They'll get run out quicker than they did in Minneapolis. DHS, ICE, Border Patrol, they don't have the guts what it takes to clean up America. You know why? Part of the problem is most of these ICE officers, DHS, they're all foreign nationals themselves. They're all Mexicans. They're all real Africans. How do you think they understand how to speak Mexican to all these illegal foreign invaders? Most of ICE and Border Patrol, they're the ones that aided and abetted the invasion. Who do you think harbored and concealed? Who drove them all around the country on them big white buses? Who was flying illegals all around the country? It wasn't Cho Zai-dong. You think Cho Zai-dong was sitting behind the wheel of the bus? All the illegals were trafficked around America, all around in all the cities around America by DHS, by ICE, by Border Patrol. They flooded the zone with illegals, and now they're going around trying to play hero like they're rounding them up, like they're playing savior. It's all order by way of chaos. They create the chaos and they try to come in and restore order. Well, we're not buying it. We're not falling for it. For your bait and switch, your complete lies. So y'all need to get out there and do your part. Never a better time than now to get out there and record. You see these Mexicans out speaking Mexican. You see these foreigners out speaking Mexican in your community, especially up here in Michigan. You see any Mexicans up here in Michigan speaking Mexican? Call 911. Get on the phone, call 911. You got to do your part as a patriot, as a real patriot, a real hero. Got to protect your blood, protect your soil, protect your Christian identity. Now is the time. All you base chads out there, get out there IRL. LARPing around, get out there LARPing around, observe, LARP around in these communities. Get out there LARPing around, exercising your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights. Get out there exercising those Second Amendment rights to protect your First Amendment rights, to call out these illegals. Be careful out there. Be careful, because these police officers, they're trained to arrest the American citizen. These police officers, they're not going to arrest the illegal. They're going to show up and arrest you. They're going to trespass you for reporting the illegal invader. The local cop, the township cop, the state cop, the city cop, they're aiding and abetting, harboring and concealing. They're there to attack and arrest the American citizen for reporting on it. That's what happens when most of your police officers are foreign nationals. They're illegals, non-Christians. They're not out there enforcing Christian rule of law on the Muslims. They're not out there enforcing Christian rule of law on the Jews. There's a different rule of law. There's a double standard, separate standard of rule of law. If you're part of the elites, you're part of the Jewish elites in the Epstein files. You know, much of the Epstein files, what can you really believe in there? There's a lot of talk in there, but how much of it can you believe? Many of these women now, they're empty egg cartons. They don't have any eggs anymore. They're all cracked and dried up. No men want anything to do with them anymore. They're all worn out. Their egg factory is over. These women, they're either a 304, they're a nun, or they're a mother. You got three choices as a woman. Your best choice is to be a mother, be an egg factory. Women are put on earth to be egg factories. We need to remove them from all men's spaces, Feminism needs to go away and die. We need to remove all females and feminism out of all these power positions. No more female judges. No more female prosecutors destroying rule of law in America, destroying the American society, the American social contract. The American social contract, it can't work when you're invaded by millions of third worlders, fourth worlders from Haiti, from Somalia, from the Congo, from Venezuela. These radical activist judges, these feminist judges like Alison Bates Stein, Michael Clarence Stein, Ann Zimmerman, these traitors to America, destroying rule of law in America, flooding your communities with thousands of illegals from the most dangerous parts of the fourth world. Well, do your part. Come voting time, and all you that participate in those fully rigged elections in Michigan, there'll be millions of votes, millions of dead bodies on the voter rolls to fill your place. If you don't vote the way they want you to, don't worry. There's millions of dead bodies, millions of illegals ready to vote, ready to take your place. They'll fudge the numbers up. They'll hack into the computers and fudge it all up what they want. It's all connected to the internet, something they said it wasn't. Conspiracy theorists were right again. But those of you that do participate in those, just remember, come August in Michigan, remember the GOP, they sold you out. You got no mass deportations in Michigan. You got war with Iran, it looks like. You got 3 million more Epstein files were released. Yeah, you got the Iran war restarting soon. Ukraine war, that's still going on. Ukraine's war against Russia, that's still going on, and NATO's war against Russia. Of course, you got Minneapolis, ICE complete surrender. ICE and DHS complete surrender in Minneapolis, got owned, got run out, ran out with their tails tucked between their legs, just like ICE would do if they came into Dearborn, Michigan, just like ICE and DHS would do if they came into Hamtramck, Michigan, or Jackson, Michigan. They'll get run out with their tails tucked between their legs, just like they did in Minneapolis. They complete surrender to the illegal invaders. It's over. Remember that come August in Michigan, when the GOP wants your vote, come midterms, let them crash and burn. Hold your vote. Let it crash and burn. What happened with Greenland invasion? That was canceled. That never happened. Another failed promise. I'm saying it's a midterm defeat guaranteed, it looks like, for the GOP. Hey, then what? Then Trump gets impeached. Then it's time to rebuild the GOP for 2028, because it's not J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance with his first son named Vivek, his Indian wife straight from Mumbai, India, Delhi, India. Look at Ohio, they're finished. You can't go to a rest stop in Ohio without it being completely clogged with Punjabi warriors. Straight from Mumbai, India, Delhi, India. Koshi, India. Yeah, Ohio's finished. Somehow Ohio got completely flooded with millions from India. Look at their former senator, J.D. Vance. Is that the type of America you want? Like his family, a mixed Indian family? Is that what you want? Millions of millions of mud pie eating Punjabi street shitters all over America? Is that what you want? It's already here in Ohio. If you want it in the rest of America, come to Michigan. It's full of Iraqis. Looks like the Middle East. It's worse than the Middle East in Michigan. That's why it's time to restore Sharia law in Michigan. These judges need to cover their faces up. You better never speak public. You better cover your face up in public. If you want to talk to a man in public, you better write it down on a piece of paper and show it to me. Any of these radical activist judges, these feminist judges destroying rule of law in America. Time for you to do your part. All you patriots need to rise up. Get out there and do your part. Protect your blood. Protect your soil. Protect your Christian identity. I know it's not easy. It can be easy to give up, but you got to stay strong. Never give up. You got to believe. Got to do your part. You see these, you go into a Kroger. You can't go into a Kroger in Michigan, a 7-Eleven in Michigan without it packed full of Venezuelans, packed full of Indians, packed full of Haitians. Apparently, there's quite a few cities in Michigan we may need to go investigate real soon. The foreign invasion that was aided and embedded by these radical activist judges, like these traitor SCOTUS judges, these DEI hired feminist judges that are only motivated by radical political ideological agendas, not by following rule of law. These radical activist judges, they'll do anything. They'll use force, violence, coercion, the weaponized police state, anything to push their radical political ideological agendas on the American people with their illegal foreign invasion. Got to do your part. Got to stand up. Now's the time. Never better time than now. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be alive. Never a better time. Get out there on the front lines. Hold them accountable. So yeah, some places are more corrupt, more flooded, more invaded than others. Got to direct your focus in the right area. You know, you're only one person. We're only one person. Got to do our part. You know, do the best you can. Let your voice be heard. Get out and exercise that First Amendment right. Get out there and exercise those Second Amendment rights. Never better time than now. Get out there and Those first, Second Amendment audits, those First Amendment audits, that first cop watch. You go into a Kroger, a 7-Eleven, you see it packed full of illegals, get on the phone, call 911. Call 911, get the thin blue line out there. Get blue ISIS out there. The police state in America. Record them, document it, publish for all to see. They don't do their job, expose them. Put it on social media. You got to do your part. Get out there and confront these invaders. You see them out there, ask them questions. They start speaking Mexican, they can't understand you. Get on the phone and call 911. The best number in America, 911. Americans fully support their 911. Don't worry, your heroes will come right out and arrest the American citizen and point the finger at you. These foreign national police officers. You know, these police officers, they're not cops of yesteryear. They're not the police officers of yesteryear, your grandfather's police officers. These police officers of 2026, they're all foreign nationals. They're Gutierrez, they're Garcias, they're Villarreals, they're Rodriguez, they're Jose's, they're Mohammeds, they're Abdullahs. Yeah, these aren't your police officers of yesteryear. You think they're going to arrest their family members? You think they're going to arrest Carlos and Mario and Ricardo? No, they're going to arrest Robert and John and Michael and Henry and William. Yeah, you need to be careful out there. These police officers, they're not cops of yesteryear. Got these foreign national cops, low IQ. All they know is following orders from their superior, from their Finkelstein superior, from their Steinberg superior, from their Silverstein superior. Got to do your part. Get out there LARPing around, exercising your First Amendment right, your Second Amendment rights. LARPing around. All you base chads need to get out there LARPing around, exercising your First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights. Do your part. Protect your blood. Protect your soil. Protect your Christian identity. Now is the time. Never been a better time than now. So thankful, so grateful for each and every one of you joining us here on these YouTube live streams, talking breaking news. ICE officers, Michigan, First Amendment, plus Supreme Court, SCOTUS fail live. Talking the DEI hired judges, feminist judges, destroying rule of law in America. Talking about our way out. What's next? What's the future? The future is it's in your hands. You got to do your part. Got to rise up. Let's get those likes up there. Smash that like tab. Consider a donation here at Freedom News Now. Show your support for these educational live streams. Consider becoming a member to gain extra perks. And that's all for now. I'm gonna wrap this video up. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for police accountability, civil rights education YouTube videos. and I'll see you on the next one.